Today's video, we're going to be checking out the McFarlane Toys Walking Dead Colourtops number 31. This is Dwight. Alright, so before we have a look at Dwight, let's figure out how tall he is. And the answer to that, it's 7 inches in height. Still not sure whether I should call this an action figure or not, but I'll just call it a figure for the rest of this review. He comes with a display stand featuring AMC's The Walking Dead on the front. Same stand as what we've seen before, and a hollow stand to boot. And also, speaking of boots, he does have a peg to attach to the hole on the undersides of his boots. He has one hole, if you can see it right there. The other one, there's no peg right there. Unfortunately, though, attaching him to the stand, half the time I find he just doesn't stand well on it. Sometimes you can luck out. Other times I found putting him on the stand just wanted to fall off. At the very least, it adds for a little bit extra oomph for displaying the figure, and I'm always all about oomph. Anytime I can get some extra oomph is good with me. Granted, the figure perfectly stands on his own. I don't really have any issues with him standing, but again, I love the extra display stands. Don't worry, there's not going to be completely positive aspects to this figure through this entire video. There's some negatives. I'll talk about those in a second. But positive is he comes with a stand. Negative is he doesn't really stand in it that well. We'll just put that right there. Also comes included with Daryl's crossbow, which has some cream as well as green added to the handle portion, as well as the area right here. The arrows are colored nicely between a mixture of whites and oranges alternating. None of these can be removed, but he does have one arrow, as you can see, attached. Unfortunately, the arrow is black, as well as the feathers are also black. So without really, if you look at it from a glance, it doesn't look like he's got anything in there other than the indication that the straps, the cables are pulled back. There must be something in there. And you realize that, yes, the arrow is in there, it just wasn't painted. They went as far as to paint these, didn't go as far as to paint those in there. I want to talk about this for a second, but before I do that, I'm going to talk about the fact that he also comes included with a pistol. The pistol primarily is black plastic, although it has a little bit of silver added to it just to kind of give it a look as if it's a little on the worn side. The pistol can be either put into his hand, both hands really for that matter, like so, or what you can also do too is put it into his holster. Now, this tab doesn't look like it separates from itself. So try as you might, you have to just kind of force the pistol in there. I gave up about halfway through, and I'm just like, I'm not going to break this off, because this feels extremely thin, brittle plastic. Not the main pistol, but the area around the trigger feels like it's very thin plastic. So I don't want to do a lot of forcing that to get the pistol in place. Whoops. And through the process, I drop it on the floor. I don't care. I'll just leave it on the floor. I want to talk about his crossbow. Never, ever have I ever had the feeling as much as I do with Dwight here. I want to say Daryl because I'm holding his crossbow. Never have I wanted to remove a thumb from a figure as much as I do with Dwight here. You can see that he's got one pointing finger, which almost looks like something that you would expect to find on E.T. Just seems very odd pointing finger here. The idea is it's supposed to be able to go around this handle, and the finger is supposed to go onto said trigger. Unfortunately, it is a nightmare between the strap here that wants to fight with you the whole time, and the fact that his blasted thumb, it's right there, his thumb is in the way. Oh, so many times I've tried to pry just the thumb out of the way. Just like, get out of the way, thumb! You're not necessary. Well, you are necessary. Thumbs are very, very needed to have a functioning hand. But not in this instance. Not in this instance. It also seems like there's a little bit of a crack developing on the thumb. But the point I wanted to make was it's next to impossible to get the handle around his hands, his fingers here, and to get the trigger finger onto the trigger, and to get the thumb around the handle. A lot of times I just kind of pry it enough, fit it on there, and just say, I give up. I'm just gonna leave it. It's not gonna get any bit better than this. I'm willing to accept it, and I'm willing to move on with my life. So that's a bit of a pain in the butt. Let's just say a pain in the butt. You can kind of imaginate, let's start making up words. You can imagine, if you will, that the crossbow is in his hand, even from the side. That's good enough for me. Anything else after that, I just don't care. I just don't care. Okay, so let's have a look at the figure minus his... Oh, just looking at that thumb, I just want to rip it off. I just want to rip you off, thumb, but I won't. I won't. For the decency of this video, I won't rip off that thumb. What we will, though, is look at his face, which otherwise, for the most part, is pretty good, although he's got these wandering eyes. Not only does he have the Shannon Doherty syndrome, where it looks like his one eye, this eye here, is higher than the other. I've mentioned Shannon Doherty before. Look up Shannon Doherty's eyes. You're welcome. I think actually one eye is a complete eye higher than the other eye. Look it up. I'll just wait right here. Go ahead. Go. Shannon Doherty eye. Go look it up. Okay, look it up after the video. Some people are like, well, I don't want to look it up. Don't stop the review for that individual. Go look it up afterwards. Shannon Doherty, lopsided eye. Anyways, if only Shannon Doherty would know what ill I speak of her and her eyes. Anyways, so the eye is a little on the higher, slightly lopsided end of it. I know he's not the ugliest, or he's not the most attractive characters in the show. He kind of reminds me of Matthew McConaughey, and I've dubbed him in the show Ugly McConaughey. A play on Matthew McConaughey. I know it's horrible. The guy didn't mean it. He's been burned by an iron, whole side of his face. Can't help it. But he's not the most attractive of characters, I have to admit. So the face is not terrible. It's kind of middle of the mark. It's not one of the worst sculpts for the Walking Dead Colourtops. And I wouldn't say it's the best either. It's kind of in the middle. The hair is actually done nicely, as well as the burn on his face. At least they painted that. Something's wonky about those eyes, though. The beard has been very, very haphazardly painted in. At least they painted it in. And then he's got the chin beard and neck beard. Oh, that's so gross. It kind of just looks more like smeared on chocolate than it does actually a beard, but it's at least passable. For the rest of his outfit, he's got his jacket on. He does not have the Daryl vest, but he has a leather jacket on. He also has a red shirt and white. It originally was a white shirt. It's far from being white anymore. That shirt's as white as he is pretty. Neither of those statements are correct. But he's got a little bit of like a sweaty, kind of dirty grime that's added to his shirt. I'm sure most of it's sweat. The jacket is not removable from the rest of the shirt. Both of them come together, hand in hand. The jacket's nice. A little bit of gray that's added in there as well, giving a little sense that it's older. He's got a little bit of a fray around the corner, or around the shoulder areas. So that's all good. Jeans are also nicely done. Surprising to say this, he does have posability in the legs. You can move the legs forward and back. So apparently today is the day McFarlane decided these were going to be figures, action figures, rather than pre-posed figures. Rolled up cuffs on his legs, leading themselves down to boots, where one lace is almost untied. You might want to tie that up, Ugly McConaughey, because you're probably going to trip on that. And then back to where we start at the beginning of this journey, the peg hole on the underside of his foot. We've come full circle of life. Let's have a look at his posability. His head rotates technically all the way around. His shoulders hinge outward, creaky, creaky, creaky. Forward and back. He's got laughable joints here. I don't want to say, well, laughable in the sense that they look like they should be ratcheted. I guess you can kind of hear a slight catching of that, but they're more ugly than they are anything else. The arms also rotate. The hands rotate. Even the one that I want to... Oh, I just want to rip the thumb off. I just want to do it right now, but I'm not. I'm not going to. Nothing in the waist. Legs split out. Forward and back. A bend at the knee. Rotation on the lower leg. And he's also got a slight, can't stress this enough, slight ankle rocker. And there is Ugly McConaughey. Sorry, no, his real name is Dwight in the show. That is Colourtops Walking Dead Dwight. Despite this guy's public school name calling of poor Dwight, he doesn't mean the fact that he's got a burned iron print on his face. He's not the most attractive of men. But at least, at the very least, he translates moderately well to a color top. He's not the best. He's far from being the worst. He's sort of in the middle. And the head sculpt, nor the paint, is really my biggest gripe with this figure. Rather, the way he holds the crossbow. I just want to rip that thumb right off. Pain in the butt to get the crossbow to actually stay in his hand, that if you look real close, you don't even have to really use binoculars to see this. I've barely got the crossbow in his hand, so that's something that could have been maybe worked on for an otherwise passable looking Dwight. On a side note, for the actor who's watching this movie this review right now, who plays Dwight in The Walking Dead, I didn't mean to call you Ugly McConaughey. I shouldn't have said that. That's really cheap. That's mean. And we're in a day as well of name calling. Name calling's not good. You don't want to name call anybody. And here I am calling this poor actor Ugly McConaughey. You're not ugly. You're unique. Especially if you've got half your face all burned up from an iron. Today we were having a look at the Walking Dead color top. This was figure 31. I guess it would be closer to being a figure than some of other McFarlane's outings. Today we're having a look at color top 31, Dwight. Not Ugly McConaughey. He's a beautiful soul inside and out, where really the real bane of my existence is Tara. I can't stand Tara. Tara needs to totally be eaten alive by zombies. There, I said it. I feel bad about calling him Ugly McConaughey. I don't feel bad saying that Tara should be ravaged by hundreds of zombies. I find her absolutely useless. There, I said it. I don't like Tara. Stay tuned, guys. No name calling anymore on this channel, but we are going to have more videos coming your way. I say we, it's me. More videos coming your way. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below, though, to guarantee the fact that you'll never miss future videos coming onto this channel. Matthew McConaughey related or not. Thanks for watching, as you always do, guys. I'll see you next time.